Hey, everybody. Welcome in the building. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for stopping through for Sunday night trending topics. I figure I'd pop in and do it quick. When I say quick, I mean quick. That's why I only did two stories. A quick live because I saw two stories that spoke to me in different ways, right? And that's why I titled this, What a Day. So I hope y'all had a good Sunday. I had an amazing Sunday. I was in the streets today. I saw this play on Broadway called Purpose. It is actually leaving Broadway. That's why I went to see it tonight because I want to say the end of this month is over. So what is that? That's a few days, right? We got this week, and then next Monday I think it's over. They're leaving. It was an excellent, amazing play. If you are in the New York, New Jersey area, I would say get you a ticket if you can. It was worth every penny. So I had an amazing night tonight. Excellent play. But anyway, I figured I'd come through because I saw these two stories that kind of touched me. And I said, what a day. We're going to talk about it. That's the title, What a Day. And the first story is this bus attack. You know, it's a sad day in the world. We saw one day last week in my trending topics where the mother helped the daughter beat up her schoolmate. And then the mother got arrested. It's a sad day when mothers are jumping in the fight of their kids. Okay. And so now this bus monitor, she got attacked by the mother and the daughter. And I'm just like, where they do this at? This is insane. It's crazy. What a day. But we're going to talk about it. And then we got this hero cop actually saved a man's life years ago. The Golden Gate Bridge, it is a bridge that unfortunately was known for a lot of people would go there to take their own life. But this cop saved this man. And decades later, the man thanks him. It's always sad to me when people think that they have no other choice, that what's going on with them is so dark and they think the only option is to take their life. It breaks my heart. But thank God this cop saved this man's life. And you know, that's why cop stories are always hard for me because they're not all bad. They're not. And it's the bad ones that give the good ones a bad name. So listen, I ain't going to hold us up, people, because this is going to be an express train, okay? So I thank y'all for being here. If you here, do the diva a favor, hit the like button, okay? And y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what, y'all? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Sunday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called What a Day. We got a bus monitor was attacked by a mother and a daughter. Ridiculous. And then we got a hero cop. He helped save this man's life. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hold on one second. Let's bring the people in. Hey, Savannah.
Hey, Diva. Happy late train.
Happy late train. Listen, it's me and you tonight. I'm glad you popped in to hang out with me. We're going to do this. And Savannah, it's going too soon, but good gosh, I would see this thing again. Amazing. But we will talk offline, but I mean amazing. It was a good play. And then Lindsay said, I was telling my mom I would love to go to Broadway plays sometime. Lindsay, you got to tell mom again. You must go. That play was amazing, but even if that one's leaving, there's so many good plays on Broadway right now that's worth every dime. And Alicia Keys' Hell's Kitchen is definitely one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to jump right into this story where the bus monitor got attacked by a mother and a daughter duo. I mean, this just doesn't, what's going on today just doesn't make sense to me. Let me see if I could bring this story up. Let's see, save this. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and let me see if I could play this. Okay, let me play.
Breaks out on an Orleans Parish school bus between a student, her mother, and the bus's monitor. As Gabby Killett reports, the fight sent the bus employee to the emergency room with bite marks.
what's happening with our youth, how disrespectful our youth have become and rebellious.
Johnny Jackson says a McDonough 35 student and her mom jumped his wife, Tamika, Thursday as she worked on an Orleans Parish school bus as a monitor.
The mother now then just reaches out and hits her in the face, and then the assault occurs. So now the daughter joins the fray.
He says the fight began when his wife told a student she couldn't sit on the last 2 rows of the bus.
For the previous week and a half, a lot of the students have been going to the back of the bus, and my wife suspected that they may be doing some lewd acts towards the back of the bus. So she told the student, "Hey, you can't go back there."
Jackson says this prompted the girl to call her mom, who walked onto the bus at a stop along the route.
I can't touch her.
Jackson is horrified at his wife's injuries.
They pulled her hair out. They bit her in her face, on her lips, on her thumbs, scratched her face. She has a large gash running across her face. I have photos to prove this evidence.
He says he's also disappointed in the NOPD's response after they issued a municipal court summons to his wife for disturbing the peace.
This was the statement that was provided to me by not only the officers that were on site, the captain came out as well and told me the same thing. That until they get video footage, they have to treat this as a routine fight, which is insane knowing that my wife is at work. I mean, that was egregious. It's no words to describe how ridiculous that scene was.
Gabby Killett, Fox 8, local first.
The NOPD says it has no police reports in its system in connection with the case. Inspire NOLA Charter Schools, which governs McDonough 35, says it's actively investigating the fight and that students and staff safety is a top priority.
Super sad. Okay, let me just share screen again. So, bus monitor sent to the emergency room with bite marks after allegedly being attacked by a student and her mother. They bit her in her face, on her lips, on her thumbs, the victim's husband said. A fight on a school bus in New Orleans landed a monitor in the hospital. An altercation between a bus monitor and a student and the student's mother allegedly happened on an Orleans Parish school bus on Thursday, August 21st, according to the news. The bus monitor, identified as Tamika Jackson, went to the emergency room after the incident with multiple injuries, including bite marks and scratches, the outlet reported. The student involved in the alleged incident attends McDonough 35 College Preparatory High School, a local charter school governed by Inspire NOLA Charter Schools. Tamika's husband, Johnny Jackson, detailed her injuries to the news, claiming they pulled her hair out, they bit her in her face, on her lips, on her thumbs, scratched her face. She has a large gash running across her face. People reached out to McDonough 35 College Preparatory High School and the New Orleans Police Department for more information on Sunday, August 24th, but did not receive an immediate response. In a statement, the people, Inspire NOLA, said it is actively investigating the incident. Inspire NOLA Charter Schools is aware of an unfortunate incident that took place Thursday afternoon on a school bus transporting students. The statement said, "We are actively investigating the matter in collaboration with the school bus company and local authorities. The safety and well-being of our students and staff remain top priority." According to Tamika's husband, the altercation occurred because his wife told the student she shouldn't sit in the last 2 rows of the bus. The student then called her mother, who boarded the bus during a stop later in the route. Tamika suspected that the students may be doing some lewd acts towards the back of the bus, which is why she told the student she couldn't sit in her desired seat. Johnny explained. That's the victim's husband. When detailing the fight, the husband said the student's mother just reaches out and hits Tamika in the face, and then the assault occurs. So now the daughter joins the fray. A video of the incident obtained by the news showed the bus monitor being hit and tackled by the student and the parent on a nearly empty bus. Another adult appeared to be on the bus, although they kept their distance from the fight. As the altercation continued, the bus monitor could be seen being hit repeatedly in the head by a woman. The news obtained photos of Tamika after the incident, one of which shows her cuts on her lip and face. A second photo shows a bald spot on her head, seemingly from where her hair was pulled out. What's happening with our youth? How disrespectful our youth have become and rebellious, Johnny said of the incident. Johnny told the news that the New Orleans Police Department issued his wife a municipal court summons in relation to the incident. He claims the officers who responded to the altercation, as well as the police captain, told him that until they get video footage, they have to treat this as a routine fight, which is insane, knowing that my wife is at work. The police departments, which did not respond to people's requests for a comment, said there are no reports in their system related to the incident, per the news. This is just sad. It's just insane. Savannah, what are your thoughts?
As many charges as they can put on both mother and daughter, they absolutely need to, because that is complete assault on an employee who is trying to do her job, because students in those back seats, they do all types of stuff back there that they shouldn't be doing, and she was just simply doing her job. But here we have a child who has absolutely no home training, obviously took it upon herself to call her mother. I think that right there is where they need to start charging the mother. That's why I agree that parents should be paying for when their kids act out and don't do right, don't abide by authority. And I've had this conversation with many people over the past few days, that this generation has no respect for authority, regardless of what the position is of the adult that's trying to correct them. It's not like when we grew up. I remember there was aunties and grandmas and neighbors and church folks that down the street, around the corner, in the park, if I did wrong, my mother would know about it. I would be pulled by my ear, my ponytail, and taken to my mom. And we just don't do that nowadays. These kids are out of control. But when we have parents that like this, who are the example, first of all, I don't believe you're allowed on the bus.
She's not the mother. So that's that in and of itself there. When the cops came, the mother should have been the one with the first summons or whatever, because she shouldn't have got on the bus.
Absolutely. So because the bus driver should have been the first line of defense and not let her on the bus unless she pushed by the bus driver. So that should be an additional charge. But I don't think, as far as I know, adults are and if you don't belong on the bus, you don't get on the bus. So yes, that's an additional charge right there. Everything that they can do and charge them both with, I believe that they definitely need to be. This woman was savagely beaten. And now they have the video, authorities. So now you have the video of the complete assault on what they did to this woman. Horrific that this is the state of our youth, our leaders of tomorrow, the people who we're going to be depending on to take care of us. This is what we're looking forward to.
This and ironically, they claim they don't have no reports on this incident. How did you give out summons, but now you don't have no reports on it?
Police reports?
That's what the end of the article said. When they reached out to the police, they claimed they didn't have no reports on this situation.
Wow, that's a beating. That's a actual beating, not no threats. No, that's a beating. Sue the police department to get them all.
Get them all. Thank you, Wayne. Your thoughts?
This is ratchetness 101. And the fruit don't fall far from the tree. Her mama probably could call her up, girl, come up here and help me fight somebody. So this is what they do. I hope that the victim has gotten a lawyer, because I don't think you got to wait for a police report to get a lawyer, because they got the video as to what happened, and she need to file it with that. on the people and with the school she drive for. This is on the job. This is on the job injury. That's it.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and roll right into this next story. Next story is very touching. Let me share a screen. Young dad was getting ready to leap from the Golden Gate Bridge. Then the miracle of a stranger's voice stopped him. Kevin Bethia unexpectedly helped save Kevin Briggs' life. Now the pair, more like brothers than friends, are looking back on the day that changed them both. So on the worst morning of his life, Kevin Bethia awoke and after years of fighting with depression, decided that he was going to drive to the Golden Gate Bridge and jump. Bethia, who was 22 years old at the time and living in Oakland, California, had never been to the famed landmark before and had to repeatedly ask for directions along the way. But minutes after parking in a lot at the north end of the bridge on March 11, 2005, he left his keys in the ignition and took off walking along the 1.7-mile expanse, glancing down at the San Francisco Bay, telling himself, "The water is my freedom. I'm ready." Before long, the young man who had just lost his job and was overwhelmed by medical bills after a recent premature birth of his daughter scrambled over the railing and soon found himself balancing on a tiny metal conduit that ran along the outside of the bridge. The frigid water of the bay churned 220 feet below. "I started my countdown," Bethia recalls now, "and I braced myself for the impact. Then something unexpected happened. 2 decades later, Bethia still refers to it as a miracle." Now, that's the cop right here. This is the Kevin right here that saved this Kevin on my right. So California Highway Patrol Sergeant Kevin Briggs, whose duties included keeping watch on the bridge, happened to be passing by when he spotted Bethia on the other side of the railing, lost in thought as he clutched the metal structure. During his career, Briggs managed to prevent more than 200 people, just like Bethia, from leaping to their deaths from the bridge. He was nicknamed the Guardian of the Golden Gate Bridge. When he saw Bethia, he calmly swung into action. Briggs remembers telling Bethia, who was staring intently down into the water, Is it okay if I come over and speak with you for a while? I'm not going to touch you. I'm just here to talk with you and to listen." Over the course of the next 92 minutes, Briggs got Bethia to open up about why he wanted to end his life. "I never try to tell anyone what to do," Briggs says. "I just listen with empathy and understanding, let them speak their piece, then get them to think about coming back over the rail." It worked. Bethia admits that for the first time in his life, talking with Briggs, he shared his deepest, darkest secrets during their conversation. He pulled himself back over the railing and was soon taken to a local hospital where he spent the next 11 days. After returning home, Bethia's mental health problems quickly returned. Seeing a photo of him on the side of the bridge published on the front page of the San Francisco Chronicle only made matters worse. For the next 8 years, he says, "I went back into one of the deepest, darkest depressions I ever experienced." But things began to change in 2013 when the American Foundation for S Prevention reached out to Briggs, who was on the verge of retiring after 23 years with the State Highway Patrol. The organization wanted to honor the veteran patrolman for his service and was hoping to get one of the individuals he stopped from jumping to present his award at the ceremony in New York City. Briggs, who had declined the honor on 3 earlier occasions, was informed by his commander that this time he needed to accept their invitation. The only problem was that he had never been in contact with any of the individuals whose lives he helped save. The closest he ever got to a thank you was from Bethia's mother, Narvella, who wrote him a letter. "I never followed up with anyone because I never wanted to be a trigger," Briggs says, acknowledging that he understands why none of the bridge survivors have ever reached out either. They want to forget that day. They want to put it behind them. One afternoon, Briggs drove to the return address that Berthia's mother had written on the envelope, introduce himself, and tell her about the upcoming ceremony. Novella quickly hatched a plan to get her son, who by then had attempted to take his life a dozen more times, to New York for the event, telling him he won an expense paid trip to the city from a radio station. Once Bethia arrived and finally met the man who had saved his life, he was floored. I was like, dang, this whole time it was a cop who saved me, says Bethia, who was so consumed by the dark thoughts unfolding inside his head on that day in 2005 that he never once looked up to see who it was he was talking to on the other side of the bridge. Being a black man from Oakland, I never had any great run-ins with law enforcement. If I had known who he was, I never would have opened up to him like I did. Within moments of meeting him, Bethia realized none of that mattered. We've been friends ever since, says the 62-year-old Briggs, a survivor of cancer and childhood SA. Bethia insists that their friendship is deeper than that. We're more like brothers, he says. What happened that day had nothing to do with him being a white man and me being a black man. It was all about the power of connection, human connection. Their reunion proved life-changing for Bethia, who gave an off-the-cuff speech while presenting Briggs with the award that floored the hundreds of people in attendance. I talked about everything that led me to the bridge that day, he says. For the first time in my life, I was myself, the person that I've always wanted to be. I was open and honest and vulnerable. And after I got done, the whole room stood up. The crowd's reaction forced Bethia to realize for the first time in his life that he wasn't alone in his struggles with S, and suddenly he wanted to do whatever he could to try to change things. In the years that followed, he not only found the tools he needed better handle his depression, but he also created an infamous foundation that is focused on removing the stigma from mental illness and treatment. A never in a million treatment A. I don't know what they messed up. Never in a million years did I think that living in the dark place could help others, said Bethia, now 42. He has given presentations to thousands of people, ranging from police academy graduates to elementary school pupils. Numerous times a year, he pairs up with Briggs, who has also become a polished, powerful speaker on the issue of S prevention, to share their gripping story. Their hope is to empower others to do what Briggs did on that fateful day 20 years ago. When the two men first crossed paths on the Golden Gate Bridge, S remains prevalent. More than 49,000 people unalived themselves in 2023, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It's really all about just listening and not feeding these folks in crisis a bunch of crap, telling them they're going to be fine, Briggs says. It's about learning how to talk to someone who is suffering. The goal, both men says, is to help those in the midst of a crisis to understand that they're not alone. It's a crappy subject, said Briggs, but we have a great time. At Briggs, is not an easy topic to talk about, but as I always tell people, Kevin makes you think and I make you feel. I thought that was just a great story. So sad. So many people are suffering with mental illness. I might show this clip with those two. The only problem I have with the clip is they mentioned the S word about 39,000 times. But Savannah, what are your thoughts?
I like hearing these stories because there's a lesson to be learned here. What that young man needed was somebody to listen, and that cop was there. He just let him know that I'm here with you. You're not alone. And that's what was most important to me about this story. Most of people who are suffering with mental health, and it's so badly that they start contemplating that option of S, and because their despair is so great, it's because they don't have the outlet of someone to talk to, or someone that would do it without judgment. And it doesn't matter whether it's race, age, financial status, or and I think a lot of us are going through many stressors right now in the current climate that we live in. It's just, getting the right help at that moment of crisis when you're going through that one. It's just about having that right person there that's connecting to you, that will spend time with you, will listen, take their what they're saying seriously. And I just think that that young man and the cop were able to connect at that time. And I can always remember back in the 90s, where the Golden Gate Bridge was very famous for being one of the spots that people chose to go do this at. But I thought that they had taken measures to bring that number down, or not
They
for other
did.
people to, for them to. Okay, good, because I haven't heard that they were still doing this. This is for him to, and I've been through the Golden Gate Bridge. That's why it's kind of scary that they think that, but they just want to be heard. And I'm glad that he got through them, and then he turned his pain into purpose and created a nonprofit, and someone he's paying it forward, letting others know that they're not alone, and he's there to listen to them as well and share his story. So this to me is also, it's a feel good story where we all learn something, to listen and not judge, and actually listen, be present in the lives of our loved ones, friends, and coworkers, even strangers, when you see somebody going through a tough time. So I actually love this story.
Yeah, me too. Wayne, your thoughts?
It's, it's good to hear the success stories, and kind of let you know that the programs and um, they're working, they're helping. And I know that they probably got S prevention hotline. So if somebody knows that, you pin it in the chat or something, when you're doing a show like this, that, a number, the hotline. Isn't there a hotline for S prevention?
It is. It is.
Okay, yeah.
There is 988.
Oh, just 988. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, so if anybody, never know who's watching and even contemplating that. But I'm just glad, you hear so many times the programs don't work. Here's one with this man, I don't know what program he was in, but, and he did over 200 times, saved 200 people, changed their lives, so, but that's it.
Okay. So you know what? Flip wanted me to show the video. I'll show the video. We'll take the hit. It's Sunday. Here it is. Because they did do a prevention, Savannah, to your point. Let's take a listen.
Strength, perseverance, but for too many people, it symbolizes something else.
I drove myself here because I felt like I needed to get myself out of pain. I remember seeing him when I stopped and getting off of my motorcycle. He appeared to look my direction, and that's when he just went and jumped. So I had yelled something to him. Whatever he yelled was enough to distract me enough and pull me out of that dark place that I was in. I thought he was gone. I went running up there, and then I see his T-shirt through the slots. I talked to him for 92 minutes, and my head never looked up. It was something in his voice, the compassion in his voice, and that's what saved me.
Years after Highway Patrolman Kevin Briggs interrupted Kevin Berthia's suicide attempt, Berthia does not shy away from his lowest moment.
I wear it proudly because I want people to know that your worst days prepare you for your best days.
On average, 30 people have leapt to their deaths here each year, more than 2,000 since 1937, according to bridge authorities.
The first recorded suicide occurred within the first few months of the bridge's opening.
And when Briggs started patrolling the bridge in the 90s, part of his job was to look out for people who might be on the edge.
I would average 4 to 6 people a month who were either on the sidewalk we would see and talk to, or maybe in their car writing a note, thinking about it, or up and over that rail.
He talked with hundreds of people and helped many of them, sharing the stories in a book called Guardian of the Golden Gate. But it wasn't until now, after years of suicide prevention advocacy and studies of the power of deterrence, that bridge authorities installed these steel nets, a $224 million project.
The way the nets are designed, you don't even really see them unless you're right above them.
You talk to the few people who survived a jump from the bridge, and almost to a person, they'll say the second their hands left the railing, their life flashed before their eyes, and they experienced immediate regret.
And the nets offer a second chance.
The net has a deterrent effect for two reasons. One is it visually interrupts your view of the water. It reminds you that it's there and other people have been here before you. And two, it's designed to hurt. Falling 20 feet into taut steel mesh is evidently like falling into a cheese grater. It's not going to end your pain. It's going to make it worse. And those two things together are working. In the first year they put this in, before it was even finished, suicides at this bridge fell by half.
There's research and study that shows if you're able to get people through the peak of their pain, that often they do not go on to attempt and go on to live long and productive lives.
That's true for Kevin Berthia. These two men from opposite sides of the bridge are now friends and peers in suicide prevention. They say these nets are a crucial last line of defense.
Something got to be in place. Something, has to be in place to say that we care.
Those folks who come across there and all of a sudden, I've had enough, that's what this will hopefully prevent.
Yeah.
Then it did its job.
And perhaps someday everyone who walks onto the Golden Gate Bridge will walk off.
Now, let's be clear. This is not a solution to the mental health crisis that we're seeing in this country and around the world, where suicide rates are in fact going up in many cases. And so we're going to need, experts say, a total overhaul of how we do mental health. But this kind of architectural intervention really can be effective. And it's not just at the Golden Gate Bridge. This is something we're seeing around the world at icons, sculptures, statues, bridges, towers, all of them putting in this kind of system for exactly the same reason. It visually interrupts, and as a result, psychologically interrupts that moment that people have and perhaps can get them on a new path. Back to you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the.
So, I just a really, really good story. And God bless that cop. I think it was Flip who said he's an agent of God. He most certainly is, and I'm here for it too. What a blessing, right? And because the guy was in a dark place, and it's a good thing he's still here, because now he's doing talks and he's probably helping save some other lives. And Lizzie, again, sorry for your loss. I saw Fancy put that out there, and Flip, condolences for your friend that decided to take their own life. I want to just give an update on this Emmanuel story, Emmanuel Haro, the baby Emmanuel, only 7 months, where the mother claimed, that he was kidnapped. Now they're saying the dad is now cooperating because they're looking for the body. So they know for a fact Emmanuel, unfortunately, is not alive. I didn't see where the dad actually confessed to it, but he must have, if he's helping them look for the body. It's just sad. It's senseless. But what's even sadder is that the world failed Emmanuel, because this father should have never even been in the streets to begin with. Let me share the screen so we can get the latest update on this story. Hold on one second. So Emmanuel Haro, officials give grim update of missing California baby. The family members had said that they did not see him for months before the actual kidnapping story was told. And that's the father in the orange jumpsuit trying to help them look for the body. But if his body was missing really for over a month versus the week that we thought, I don't even know if they're going to find his remains. Very sad. So dad of Emmanuel Haro with cops in search for baby. Let's take a listen.
I'm Ron Beck, manager.
Authorities continue their search for missing Southern California baby Emmanuel along the 60 freeway in Moreno Valley, with cadaver dogs brought in for the effort. Let's take a look.
Following breaking news out of Moreno Valley, where investigators just wrapped up a search for missing baby Emmanuel after they weren't able to find his body. Skyfox flying over the scene just 30 minutes ago. You can see search crews leaving the area. This is off the shoulder of the 60 freeway near Gilman Springs Road. Investigators used cadaver dogs to also help in the search. And you might see Emmanuel's father, Jake Harrow, also on scene with detectives. You can see him there wearing that orange jumpsuit. He and his wife, Rebecca, were arrested on suspicion of murder Friday, while authorities conducted an operation at the family's home in Cabazon. Riverside County deputies were called to Moreno Valley for a child abuse incident Thursday. They have confirmed that the case is related to the Harrows. Court records show that Jake Harrow pleaded guilty to child cruelty charges in a separate case in 2018. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf will have a live report on this developing story later on at 10.
Super sad. So authorities continue for their search. The search for the baby comes as his parents, Jake and Rebecca, were arrested on suspicion of murder after a search of their home. The baby's mother, Rebecca, had previously claimed the baby was taken after she was attacked in a parking lot. Authorities have since accused Emmanuel parents of having inconsistencies with Rebecca's story. What we know, on Sunday, authorities conducted a search for the missing baby along parts of the 60 freeway near Gilman Springs Road in Moreno Valley. According to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office, Jake, Emmanuel's dad, was at the search scene with detectives. According to a statement released by the San Bernardino County's Sheriff's Office, Emmanuel had not been located as of 4 p.m. August 24th. Cadaver dogs were called in to search along the 60 freeway in Moreno Valley. As deputies say, they will wrap up the search for Emmanuel Sunday night. Jake Harrow appearance in Moreno Valley comes as he and Emmanuel's mom, Rebecca, were both arrested on suspicion of murder. The couple got arrested after authorities searched the family's home in Cabazon, a Riverside County community roughly 20 miles away from Palm Springs. The backstory: Emmanuel was first reported missing on Thursday, August the 14th. Prior to his arrest, Rebecca claimed she was attacked while changing her baby's diaper in the Big Five sporting goods store parking lot. She then claimed someone knocked her to the ground. Once she got up, her baby was gone. She said before she and Jake Harrow both got arrested. Days after sharing the alleged parking lot attack story, authorities have since accused the couple of having inconsistencies with Rebecca's story. And then the cousin said, there's cousins that said that apparently they found bloodstained planks like in their house. And then family members said they haven't seen the baby in months, and that's why the cops were saying that they really felt like the baby has been dead long before they staged this kidnapping situation. Savannah, your thoughts?
If that baby's out there in those mountainsides, there's nothing but wildlife there, and I can imagine with the heat as well. And this baby, according to the family, they haven't seen him in over a month. There's no way a 7-month-old will survive. Well, I don't think they're going to find full human remains. They'll probably find bits and pieces like the one in Georgia. While this was going on, the mother was doing an interview, still sticking to her story of kidnapping. So she was interviewed by someone this morning, and she's still sticking on to her story, not knowing that the father was on his way with the authorities to show a potential area of interest. So that was the breaking news I had seen on the Spanish news network.
Wow.
This is, it's just horrific. I hope that they find something that they can get this baby a proper burial, because leaving him out there, these aren't monsters. These are, like Katrina says, demons sometimes, because how could you even lay your head down at night and not knowing that your baby was out there. I know there's mountain lions and all types of bobcats, and that's the desert, and that baby is just. Uh, this is one of the horrific stories of 2025 where we're just living amongst monsters, and I just need them to both be charged with so much. Like, not that she is just as guilty as he is, if not even more so. But my heart breaks for every time I hear an update about this story. It just gets more and more horrific of what this poor baby went through.
So the mother was sticking to her story, not even knowing that dad was in there ready to confess.
That is correct, Eva. That was Court TV had that on earlier too. That mother was doing an interview with someone sticking to the kidnapping story, and then they came in with the breaking news of the father out there in the red orange jumpsuit in the mountains. So she doesn't even like. I think you and I both called it that he was going to be throwing her under the bus. He's probably going to get a lighter sentence if he says something, where the baby is, versus her keeping it stick to their story that made sense to no one.
Wow. Oh my God. Wayne?
Well, personally, I think he's taking them on a wild goose chase. You know where that baby is. I think them cadaver dogs, even if animals, had, had got the body or whatever, still have bones scattered. I mean, they don't always eat the bones. You know what I mean? And those cadaver dogs can pick up that. If he knows, if he's going there. Say again.
Can they pick up a scent?
I think they can. I mean, they're trained on all that stuff. So, like I said, I think he's taking on a wild goose chase. And I don't know why, but that's what I'm just feeling. He's taking on a wild goose chase, because if he took that baby out there somewhere, he would have at least some proximity, of knowing where. You know what I mean? I mean, he's not giving them like an area like where it's like acres and acres and acres. I think he would have some idea where he may have, disposed of a body if they did that. And I think that's going to come up, because they've done it before. Sent them on wild goose chases and wasn't nothing there, and had like dogs that sniff out the drugs. And they told the man told him, well, I threw it over there. They said, okay, he confessed he threw it over there. They had them dogs out there, and them dogs couldn't find nothing. And then she told him, let me tell you how good these dogs are. They picked up the scent of like a blunt, or just whatever, just a small piece, like a cigarette butt. That's how good those animals are, and are trained in detecting stuff. So I don't think he took him anywhere near where that body might be. That's it.
Yeah. I will tell you this, that she's a fool. I said the minute she walked in that jail, she should have started running her mouth. So that means he told first. But I knew he was going to screw her over from the minute he had a lawyer himself, and the lawyer kept saying, I'm his lawyer, not their lawyer. He said, I'm his lawyer. And I guess he thinking that just like he got away with almost unaliving his first child, the other child, I can't say it's his first because I don't know. Just like he almost got away with unaliving that child, got 6 moms and this, whatever he got. I guess he thought, I'm going to just go ahead and tell, because they let me off last time. I probably get off again this time, but no time. This time, sir, no, you're going to jail for life.
But Diva, remember when they were saying he got counsel, he had a lawyer, but he already had a lawyer for some other stuff, I believe.
Yeah, because the man is problematic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The man is problematic. And now baby Emmanuel is the one that suffered. It's very sad. And the mom, she's a big dummy. Because she trying to save that man, but you didn't save your baby. And then you had to, as soon as they would have put the handcuffs on me, I would have got the yapping. Save myself, whatever I got to save left of me, I was saving myself.
And he can say that she did it. Make up some story that she got angry with the child and, you know, hit the baby, whatever. He went unconscious and, you know, but getting himself out the picture, maybe disposing of a corpse. He could tell that story, you know, because he told it first. Now she got to defend, you know, her. She been telling this lie all this time. Now she got to so-called come with the truth. And what's going to be the truth? Him or her?
We ain't never going to know.
Right.
We'll never know the truth. I don't think we'll ever know the real story of what happened to that baby. I know she has other children that she lost custody of and that want nothing to do with her. So she also has a history of being a horrible parent. So I'm interested in all her dirt to come out too. Yes. She has two older girls that she lost custody of a few years ago. And they don't want anything to do with her. The family is protecting them. They're not allowing them to be interviewed or go on social media or anything. So I think they're doing the right thing by protecting those girls.
So then she's not as innocent either, because remember we talked about what type of woman would get with a man with a history like his? Well, we're probably her because she got her own history.
Yes, I agree.
So this is sick and sad on so many levels. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for coming through for this late night on Sunday night. It was just a little impromptu. Yeah, 2 unfit parents, Mom Dukes. And Mom Dukes, do you really have 11 kids? God bless you. God bless you if you do. We'll stay connected to this story. We'll stay connected to this story, and I'll keep you posted to let you know how this actually ends up panning out. And do we get the final word that, yeah, the dad admit to he took the baby, life. But I guess, and I'm just wondering what he said, because they still got the mother behind bars. Did he say both of them did it? Like, what did he say? And God bless this cop. You know, we have so many negative cop stories, but this was a positive one. And with the bus monitor, that mother needs to be arrested ASAP. And that's just for starters. I'm saying the mother and the daughter, but for sure the mother needs to get arrested because she had no business even hopping on that bus. Listen, guys, y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit the like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo.